game, kind of going through that game and now knowing that what it sets up for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think it was an awesome win. Great team win. I think we accomplished what we wanted to do, which was start fast. I feel like that's the factor that we wanted to do, especially get with that team. They're so used to winning and stuff like that. So we had to do our part in starting fast, and the defense got us right with the pick on the second play of the game. So I don't know what starting fast is. Getting a pick on the second game and then scoring off those off the turnover. So I think that's a great win for us. I know that we want to move on, and Coach Dilly emphasizes you get your flowers. Cool, we got our flowers on Sunday. Now it's time to take the trash out and do your daily do your daily practices and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what our mindset was in today's practice.
What do you think kind of contributed to starting fast on Saturday? What were some things that stood out differently?
Yeah, I think it went back to our practice habits. I think on Tuesdays and Wednesdays we were able to do really good in team tempo. The first team period of the practice, and then we were also able to do really good on third down, which was on Wednesday. And so we were really good on fourth down. I think we were probably 6 for 8 on that day, on Wednesday. And then, it carried over to Saturday. And I feel like that's kind of what the separating factor was just our practice habits and how we came out to practice on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Just a year ago, there was the self-bowl ban on the team imposed on itself, and it was really kind of a gloomy time, all the injuries, a 3-9 season. And now a year later, you guys are looking at potentially playing for the conference championship. Can you wrap your head around that kind of transition, just kind of how fast it's changed for you guys, this season?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think, how crazy of a turnaround it is, but I feel like it's not surprising to a lot of the leaders out here. I feel like a lot of the dudes kind of bought in January, from January all the way till now. There's a lot of guys that bought into the process of we're still a good team. There's a lot of really good talent on this team, and we just got to utilize it. And I feel like that's kind of what we were able to do in the offseason to kind of let the team buy into the chemistry and what the main plan of the program is. And I feel like that's kind of what it's all paying off right now, and that's kind of good to see.
Are you guys aware of the fact that you could be undefeated at home for the first time since 2004? Is that something that you guys are talking about this week with the last home game?
Not really. I feel like it's just, playing at home is a big advantage, but at the same time, it's just another game. We got to treat it as such, and I know it's a big game for them just as much as it is for us. So I feel like we just got to continue to stay our process and do what wins. What got us to this point. Keep doing what got us to this point, and take it one day at a time.
Have you wrapped your head around that? This would be your last home game.
Yeah.
At America Stadium. What's that mean? When you think of your experiences on that field, what stands out first?
I came here from UNLV, and it's an awesome experience. Especially with a stadium that's so packed out a lot of the time, and the fan base out here is insane. You have the student section rocking every Saturday, and it calls false starts for other team. And I know I've been on the other side of that, where away teams kind of make it hard for the away for us, when we're on the road. But I feel like it's a blessing. A lot of the guys, they make jokes about it, like, "Oh, Leif, it's your last one. It's your last one." Now I'm starting to realize, dang, my days are numbered now. We're getting down to the single digits of amount of days that I have here. And I feel like that's kind of a blessing to see all these guys and kind of take it all in. And especially with the last home game, it's an awesome experience.
What's it been like getting to reunite with Coach Roy for your last year?
Yeah, he's definitely the guy that kind of bought into me and took a chance on me. I feel like when we were at UNLV, we were so close, and when he was let go at UNLV, I found ASU. And so after my first year, Coach Roy hit me up when Coach Dilly was talking to him. And so I told him that I like it here, and I love the process and the culture here. And I feel like that's kind of why I like to think that I brought him here, because I had the final conversation with him about bringing him here. But yeah, it's an awesome experience, seeing how far I've come, and talking to him and seeing how far I've come and how far he's come as a coach. It's an awesome experience, and especially on my last year, to be with him on my last year.
How has he helped you out?
It's because his offense is like a pro mentality, pro style type of offense. So it's going to help me in the next level. Hopefully I get a chance to play at the next level. But just the different schemes that he has, it kind of helps me evolve as a player. And I feel like that's kind of what's going to carry over to the next step in my life.
What would it mean for you and this group of seniors to go undefeated at home for the entire season? What is that kind of like? Just to go through that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know, like you were saying, it's been since 2004. So 20 years ago, you know, we've been undefeated at home, and I feel like that's a great opportunity for us, a great challenge, especially with a really good team. And so if we want to win at home, we got to continue to do what wins, and you know what got us to this point. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing today. I feel like today was an awesome practice leading up to the big game.
Do you have a favorite memory playing at Mount America Stadium so far, Leif, at your time over the last couple of years here?
I think it's beating Utah. I mean, I've never had some students storm the field like that. I mean, that's crazy. I couldn't even move 2 feet, you know. I mean, I was celebrating with my guys, but at the same time with the amount of people that was on the field, it's just insane. It's kind of like a once-a-lifetime experience where you have just so many people on the field celebrating with their guys, beating a team that is known for physicality and known to run the conference and stuff like that. So I feel like that's my most memorable experience.
Kind of on that line of thinking, are you aware that yesterday when the Ticketmaster opened up for the students and able to get tickets, there was a queue of over 1,000 people waiting under an hour after the queue opened? Is that something that you've heard about, or how does that make you feel knowing that there are so many students ready to go and support you guys this upcoming weekend on Saturday?
Yeah, I've seen that on Twitter where the queues just get more. When I first saw it, it was 500. The second time I saw it, it was 1,500 or something like that. But no, it's awesome. You know, I think Coach Dilly and the team has done a really great job of activating the Valley, and I feel like that's kind of the whole entire objective of being here at ASU, to activate the Valley. And I feel like after that win, people are starting to realize that we're a real team, and we're kind of doing our part in activating the Valley and winning games and stuff like that. So it's an awesome experience having a really good team coming to town, especially in our last home game and senior night and stuff like that. But it's going to be an awesome game, and I'm looking forward to it.
What kind of challenges does BYU pose from a schematic standpoint? What are things you got to watch out for?
I think it's just their variety of looks. You know, they go from even to odd, you know, varied by series or even within the series. And I feel like they do so much things that confuses offenses, and I feel like that's why they're so successful. And the scheme is awesome. I think they play uphill or downhill with the linebackers, and their D linemen are really lengthy, and so I feel like that's kind of what they're good at, getting off of blocks and defeating double teams. And I feel like that's kind of a challenge for us this upcoming week.
So going between those even and odd fronts, is that something that you guys got to really communicate on? How do you guys go about preparing for that?
Yeah, so some of our plays are front specific, and I feel like that's kind of what we got to communicate, especially late in the game when communication starts to die out a little bit. But we just got to keep that same intensity of communicating to the tight ends, to the quarterback, to the running back, and to the receivers on who we're going to and what we need to do in order to win.
Seems like too they also like to stack the box and bring secondary guys in there.
Yeah.
What does that kind of do for you guys? What are some of the challenges with that?
Yeah, we just got to know where the extra fitter is coming from. You know, they do the 3-3-3 or sometimes bear, sometimes 4 down. So we got to understand the scheme of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to have somebody free to make the tackle. So we got to make sure we account for those guys coming into the box, and especially handle the D linemen. And I know their D line is a problem a lot of the time, so we got a really big challenge in front of us.
I'm just curious what you guys are calling. I was watching some of the film. It seemed like they run a little bit of a 4-2-5. Are you guys treating it like a 4-2-5, or are you treating it a different formation? What's kind of the thought process there?
Well, it's front specific, like we were talking about. They have 4 D linemen, they have 4 D linemen. Right. When they have 3 down, they have 3 down. So it's really it's going to be really obvious for us to see the front on how many D linemen they're playing. It's really the linebacker alignment that we got to really focus on, and when they start to unwrap and stuff like that. So it's a big challenge for us, but I think we're ready for it.
Coach kind of mentioned yesterday, talking about how you guys have a big task, kind of reestablish immense run game that you guys were able to establish earlier in the season with Cam kind of getting back and all that kind of stuff. Anything differently that you guys need to maybe approach this game week on when it comes to trying to open up the run for the running backs?
I think it just goes back to the little things. You know, I feel like it's been tough these past 2 weeks when we started to run the ball, only because I feel like we faced the 2 teams that are really good in run defense. You know, I think they're the top 3 teams in run defense. So I feel like that's kind of why we were kind of able to stall a little bit. But the whole objective and the whole game plan is to run the ball. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest challenge for us as an offensive line, and I think that we're ready for it. And I know Scat's ready for it. I know he's not opposed to that at all. So, but it just goes back to our fundamentals and technique, and I feel like that's kind of what we got to work on these next 3 days, especially tomorrow with the physical practice. We got to continue to work on those small little details in the run game.
Cool. Thanks, Leif. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.